Hello, everyone. It's Michael Jaco with Unleashing Intuition Secrets. Monumental day today because everything crashed today, but gold and silver hit new highs. So they broke free from the market turmoil. Crypto crashed, market crashed, Japanese bond yields crashed. And that's probably one of the things that probably brought the market down so radically today. But on another note, we have a war going on in Minneapolis, right? So the Democrats are, throwing everything at controlling and maintaining their corrupt, ways, and it's being taken down. So many people being arrested in Minneapolis, and that's going to eventually roll over into other big Democrat cities, right? So we're seeing the foundation of the way this is going to look going forward. It's not going to be pretty for the Democrats, right? So if we look at the recent activity that they did, where they came into a church in Minnesota and started to protest ICE, it's, you know, most of America is looking at that and going, what, what a goat rope these people are doing. So here it is, Minnesota. It's way out of control. They went into a church. They disrupted church services. I think at some point this is going to end up being, a lot of people are probably going to go to jail. So Trump basically, had some thoughts on this, had some words. So he raged after this protest, and he had this to say. He said, "Just watch footage of the church raid in Minnesota by the agitators and insurrectionists. These people are professionals. No person acts the way they act. They are highly trained to scream, rant, and rave like lunatics in a certain manner, just like they are doing. They are troublemakers who should be thrown in jail or thrown out of the country. The first to go should be Walls and fake sleazebag Ilhan Omar, who supposedly is worth over $30 million, even though she's never had anything but a government job. Investigate these corrupt politicians and do it now." So, the exposure, like we talked about, is going to come hot and heavy, and then the arrests. Now, once the arrests start, it's going to be, they're going to like really roll out. They're going to be, pulling triggers on ICE agents, and that's going to be a major problem. Now, if we move over to New York, New York State has given up the fight to force nuns to fund abortion after losing twice at the Supreme Court. It's like unbelievable. It says when New York created an abortion mandate for healthcare plans, it promised to protect religious groups. But after facing pressure from abortion activists, New York radically cut back the promised protections and made its mandate apply to any religious groups who hire or serve people of their faiths. That burdened many religious ministries, including those challenging the mandate here, because they welcome and serve all people of all faiths. For example, the mandate applied to the Carmelite Sisters for the aged and infirm because they serve the elderly and dying of any faith. So they wanted these people, excuse me, to fund abortions. I mean, these are nuns and these are elderly people. So they wanted this. This is one of the reasons I think that people are seeing that the Democrats are evil, right? The abortion itself is evil. They pushed it very hard. I think one of the things that may have saved America from God's wrath is that we basically did away with the abortion laws, right? So at Supreme Court level, so that worked out really good for America. Of course, the evil, the demonic forces, and so forth are going to continue to push forward and do whatever they can do. Now, another thing we're seeing is the market. Like I just talked about, the market is doing its crash because that's what happens on a massive scale. We're probably going to see the market crash. We're going to see I don't know, going to see the West Coast crash into the ocean or crack open or something, because there's a lot of evil out there. All right. The Dow was down 870, 1.76%, and the Nasdaq was down almost 2.4, and the S&P down almost 2%. Meanwhile, gold and silver, even now as we speak, are going up, up, up and away. All right, reaching new record highs, and they're continuing upwards. Now it looks like there might be a little snapback. Who knows how long that'll last on the stock market? Crypto not doing so good. It's still going down. 88. It might be. I have to look at it, but I think it might be crashing through some serious levels that might cause it to crash a lot more. But there's a lot of people that have been saying, myself included, that crypto doesn't look good going forward. At some point, it's going to pull back massively. Now, will the stock market continue to go up? I don't know. There's a lot of things that are that are problematic. One of those, like I'm going to show right here, is the Japanese bond market. Now, every time we've had major pullbacks in the stock market for decades, really, is when there's problems with the Japanese bonds. All right, they crashed today, and you saw the stock market crashed. All right, so this is a problem. The selling in Japan, 7.6 trillion bond market. They have more debt than any other country in the world, Japan. Then began slowly, then seemed to hit all at once. What started as an unremarkable day on Tokyo trading desk quickly morphed into what several market participants described as the most chaotic session in recent memory. Now they hit lows that they've never hit before. So will that continue? That's something we're going to have to watch. So if they recover tomorrow, maybe somebody's going to step in and help them out. If they don't recover tomorrow, then there'll be more pain in the stock market. All right. So let's look at TradingView. TradingView has some really good numbers here. Like I said, silver. This is silver. This is the daily on silver. You see in the last couple of days, it's been going up very nicely. It reached a high today of $95.78. So it's just a breath away from $100. All right, just a breath, just another maybe today. It will. I think by the end of this week we're going to see $100 silver. And I've said this at the beginning of the week. All right, so gold, as you guys can see here, is knocking out a new high as we speak. 4,829. I said it would hit 5,100, maybe 5,200 before it slows down, takes a little breather, and goes sideways. We could very easily see $10,000 to $11,000 gold this year, and I believe $500 silver. So $10,000 silver is only like 2x. About 2x of what gold is right now. $500 silver is 4x. So which would you rather have? Would you rather a 4x, move, or a 2x? I like big numbers. I like multiple X's. All right. So that's why I did, my move in XRP. Did a 5x on XRP. Then I moved over to silver, and I've had, over the last year, 2x. But from the moment I, started investing in it, we're looking at almost 5x in silver from my first investment, and I believe we're going to see another 5x in silver this year. So it's pretty substantial. Why is it doing that? Because everything is crashing, like you're seeing. This market will crash. Now, I said, and we've seen this before in the past, that we may see gold and silver pull back when a market crashes. It did not do that today. So that gives me even more inspiration that this thing is really going to reach those target levels that I believe, right? Even as the market crashes. So I thought, yeah, I'll pull out when this is going to crash substantially, and use that wealth to move into put options or shorting the market or whatever. But the way it's looking right now, I'm just going to stay long. I'm long in GDX, which is gold on miners. GDXJ was junior miners. I have one that's in platinum and palladium, a miner in South Africa. That's SBSW. It's done really well. SILJ, which is a junior silver miner, and the long-term silver miners, SIL, the big boys. It's doing really well. The juniors seem to perform a little bit better. So if you can only do one investment in ETF, I would go with SILJ, right? And put as much in there as you can. Get as many shares as you can. So that's a great one. It's been, I've only been into miners for dollar cost averaging into them over the last about 2 months, not even quite 2 months, and my returns have been they're up well over 50%. So we're looking at probably in the next few days, I think we'll probably see 100% gain in the miners alone. So ultimately, you want to be in holding the precious metal, and then on your person you have some in the depository with Dr. Kirk with a major amount, and then you're dabbling in the silver miners. I think it's going to really work out really good for you guys. So. All right, so Bitcoin looks like it's getting a little bounce back. It was 88,888. I saw that just a few minutes ago. So who knows? Will it get a bounce back? It's possible, but don't count on it. All right, don't count on it. So other things that are going on, things you need to know: the base in Greenland that we want, and we're going to get. Greenland, the United States. It doesn't matter what the European Union wants, because we always come and do the right thing, don't we, with Europe? We rescued them in World War I. We rescued them in World War II, and we're going to rescue them now, even though they do their best to F everything up. This time, we're going to get ahead of this, all right? We're going to get ahead of this. We're not going to let them get into a stupid-ass war and then come rescue them again. We're basically going to lay down the law and say, don't step over this line or you're going to get spanked, right? So I had a show with Brad Olson today, and we talked about the Nazi base in Antarctica and the Thule Society, THULE, that was part of the Nazis, basically, getting the, reptilians, to help them out. And the reptilians been kicked off the globe now, and just their offspring are here, and we're doing the work to take them down. So they're not very creative like we are. So we're having great results, but it's going to take time. All right. So in Greenland, there is a base that used to be called the Thule, THULE base in Greenland. How about that? And we know there's lots of underground stuff that the Nazis were involved with the Draco reptilian. They were baddies. Baddies are gone. At least the Draco reptilian are, but their offspring, the Hitlerites and so forth. We saw who's the woman that was the head of Germany. What was her name? Angela Merkel. Yes, Angela Merkel. Remember, she had Kuru. That's where you eat flesh, and the flesh basically goes to your brain and screws up your brain. So she was like having the shakes, and then they said, "Oh, she's very tired. We're gonna take her out of service." Right. So she was a offspring of Hitler and Eva Braun. Of course, they had a couple other ones that were, I think, the UK had one, and maybe one other European country had another one. So these baddies. Brad told me that they don't like to be called Nazis. They're the Fourth Reich. I'm like, okay, maybe that's why we do call them Nazis. They don't like that. But anyway, we'll call them by the name that everybody knows, and that's the Fourth Reich. It's very interesting. right now we're seeing Greenland we're going to own it, and not necessarily, to the point where it's a state. We're going to give them their independence, and then they want to become a state, probably, possibly. Now, I think we should do that for Puerto Rico. Of course, Puerto Rico has been jammed by the deep state for a long time. The people of Puerto Rico have wanted to become a state for, since they were a province or whatever, and they don't like that. The Federal Reserve and the IRS is there, basically controlling them, and having a lot of these Democrats come in, and which they basically put in office to control them, and their country is shit, and it's because of these people. So they need independence from the deep state. Canada needs independence from the deep state. Alberta is definitely going to get their independence. Now, when I say independence, it means they're going to join the United States. The United States will help them, will back them, just like we're going to do Greenland. And like I said, if they want to become a state, then they will move in that direction. So, congratulations. A lot of people are signing the breakaway from Canada legislation, and they're lining up for in the cold, and at night. They're lining up big. I've seen the lines are like crazy long. Everybody's signing this petition to break free and gain their independence from tyranny, just like we did during the Revolutionary War. But we're going to bring the power. If Canada wants to play stupid, then they're going to get spanked. And I think that we'll probably see Saskatchewan, some other provinces quickly follow. Will the rest of Canada come along? Maybe at some point when they see how good it is for the other provinces. They were like, we've never been, we've always been free. We've always been part of the United States, from the beginning. So I think there's going to be, they're going to find this out. So look at this map right here. So the base right here, Putafik, which means something about dogs and dog sled, because it was taken from the local indigenous people, I guess, at some point. So like I said, it was called Thule Air Base, and now it's the Space Base. All right, so we came in and renamed it. It's the Space Base now. Look where Russia is, China up here. It's in the perfect spot, so we can keep an eye on them. They've been having their ships come in here, and we need to move in there and get control of this. All right, we're trying to push out Russia and China wherever we can, and we're doing it gently. We're not like slamming them. We're just like, okay, we're here now, and we've always had the rights here, so move along, and that's what we're having. So it's critical to U.S. military capabilities in large part because it rests directly between the northern U.S. and northern Russia. Now, why would Europe want to intervene and stop us from making sure that we keep everything safe? Because they're controlled by China, like a lot of other places, right? So it's basically going to happen. Europe, we're not gonna let them play stupid again. We're just going to come in and do it, right? And they're going to get along. Or they're basically going to suffer because President Trump did, a bunch of, you guys want to play games? We're going to raise up your tariffs. You're going to have a lot more tariff fees. And I think some of that is so that we can isolate them from our silver, because we were shipping silver from our COMEX in New York to London to cover them. And now, because of all these new tariffs, that's not happening. Maybe this was thought out. All right. So and that's going to destroy the city of London, which needs to happen. All right. So we're moving in the direction of very, very goodness. Now, there is a lot of people that are waking up. There's 100,000 people in the United States that are applying for ICE to become ICE agents. Now, most of these people are veterans, American veterans with combat action veterans. And wow, So they know that, they took the oath to protect America from foreign, which a lot of us have done, and domestic. All right. So we know that Minneapolis, these are domestic terrorists. They've already been called that. We've seen the domestic terrorists in LA. We've seen domestic terrorists in New York. Seen domestic terrorists in Chicago. So we're going to basically push back on these people, all right, in a massive way, and it's going to work. So this gentleman right here, you can go to my X to listen to this. This is fantastic what he says. He says, liberals, I need you to listen up. Going forward in 2026, it's not a good idea to continue this aggression during your protest. I'm sitting here putting in an ICE application, right? And when I'm talking about it here, I've had hundreds of my brothers and sisters at arms, my fellow veterans, say, no, I'm joining you. I'm joining up too. I already signed up. I'll leave for training, whatever. A lot of veterans are joining ICE right now. Projections are saying like somewhere north of 100,000, and I'm willing to bet the vast majority of them are going to be veterans, combat veterans. So, liberals, F around and find out. All right, F around. That's right. I see you down here. Who's that? Misunderstood. Misunderstood. Very good. All right, let's show that. Miss Mendersu. Okay, Mendersu. FAFO time. That's right. Laughy, laughy. You're going to find out, dumb liberals. All right. You guys are consciously compromised, and you're going to find out. All right. So you're going to get spanked. Trump DOJ subpoenas Walls Fry Minnesota officials for conspiring to impede federal law enforcement. Wow, are we not moving in the right direction now, or what? Everything is coming together, isn't it? So it's time. It's FAFO time. All right, everyone's going to find out. DOJ sources confirmed to Fox News that 6 grand jury subpoenas were served in Minnesota today in relation to conspiring to impede federal law enforcement, including offices of Governor Walz, Attorney General Keith Ellison, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey, St. Paul Mayor, and Ramsey and Hennepin counties. So it is moving very rapidly in the right direction. We're going to see some people get spanked, all right, like the Clintons. All right, so the Clintons, they basically said, nah, we're not going to come to, the department, or says House Judiciary. So House Judiciary Chairman James Comer on Tuesday, today, revealed that the Clintons made new outrageous demands after snubbing congressional subpoenas. So Bill Clinton was supposed to last Tuesday, and then Hillary last Wednesday. They claim they already provided the committee with all the information they have on Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. All right, so they said that you guys need to come to New York and take a deposition from us, and not have any cameras, not have anything like that. And it's like, you guys, you're gonna get spanked here real soon. Facing contempt of Congress, said James Comer, the Clintons' lawyers made an untenable offer that I travel to New York for a conversation with President Clinton only. No official transcript would be recorded, and other members of Congress would be barred from participating. I have rejected. Yes. So you guys know that I've, when I was overseas in Pakistan, Islamabad, Clinton came there to talk, and that was back when she was, the head of the State Department. And they wanted us, the CIA guys, the security detail, to help their security. I've talked about this before. And I said, I joked around, kind of, because it's kind of like, when you see those movies where, somebody takes somebody out, and I'm just going to put it like that, and it changes history. I kind of put something out there like that, right? So maybe I'll change history here. And so they were like, okay, you're not going to be on this detail. And so, I guess my automatic weapon was not needed, so that's fine. My big gun. So everybody loved my big gun. They knew I knew how to work it, so they always like to have me on these things. But I didn't. That was the first and only one I didn't go on. So I made that, and I'm like, okay, well, whatever. I know this is a baddie. So that night, she stayed at the facilities of the house of the head of Islamabad State Department. Um, and she had guests that showed up. So one of the newer guys that was working in our details, former Special Forces guy, he was standing nice vigilance guard duty, and a car rolled in with some children. The children got out and went into the home, and they were never seen again. Right. So, what happened to them? I know what happened to them. So my friend came up to me the next morning and told me about this situation, and he said, "You were right about Clinton." And everybody, because you know how I am. I'm like, I'm out there, right? But guys are like, if you see something, just let us know. We don't understand. We don't believe in what you're doing, but if there's a threat, if there's a problem, let us know. We'll adjust, right? So this guy came up and said and told me what I just told you about the kids showing up and never leaving. All right, so that was the last time he worked. I think he'd worked a couple contracts, and that was his last one. He's done. Right, he saw all he needed to see, and he's like, I'm out. Right. Some of us knew there was bad things going on, but we still continued to work to make things, as best we could. So I may have someone that has worked on, I'm not going to say which one, in news broadcasting for 17 years and has pictures of Hillary Clinton dining on children. Yes. So, I mean, you guys probably, listen to some of the stuff I say and you're like, I don't believe that shit. Well, there is proof, right? So maybe you guys get to see some pictures soon. All right. So we'll see. We'll see going forward. All right. So, there's a lot of problems with the deep state guys. These Draco reptilians, they like our flesh. Their offspring like our flesh, like the Clintons, and many other of the deep state, right, are doing adrenochrome, which is the blood of children that have been, there's some kind of horror they do, and they release adrenaline, and that does some kind of crazy thing to the blood, which when they consume it, it's like heroin times 10 or some crazy, right? So a lot of them are addicted to it. A lot of them haven't been getting it. So when you see them, they're like, like some of these people that have been in the Democrat Party for a long time. They look like, they're getting very white, pasty, and very lean, very skinny, like Gavin Newsom and Catherine Hochul, right? And many others that have been supporting the Democrat Party for a long time. Yeah, you haven't eaten the adrenochrome, have you? All right. So, or that child flesh. All right. So this is obviously a problem that's going to get cleaned up. It's like some people will never, wrap their mind around that, but there's those of us that understand this are going to take care of it. Right. So, and that doesn't mean that you guys just kick back and say, "Oh, they got it." You still need to get involved. You still need to share stuff like this. I'm not messing around with this stuff. This stuff is real, right? It's a very bad thing. Now, another thing that's very bad is the COVID-19 vaccine. The vaccine. Remember what did I used to call that back in the day? The Jabberdo, all right? And still they took me down. Well, we can kind of talk about it still, but maybe some people get the Jabberdo, and it's okay for them. But maybe they don't know that it's not okay for them, right? Maybe there are some complications that are happening that we have evidence for. Now, a lot of people haven't been talking about this. I've kept this ball rolling for a long time. Now, the embalmers are the ones. Now, they were silenced quite substantially. They were attacked. I've had like the guy from um, John O'Looney, who's from the UK. He was going to come on my show, and I guess they got a lot of heat, and his wife wanted him to back off, so he never came on my show. But he did come back out again. He's kind of out in the background, revealing stuff now about the embalming and how they're seeing from the embalmers that there's still significant and serious problems that are continually, progressing, guys. All right. Now, many of you, I've talked about this stuff over the years. Many of you have come in and talked about how you've had multiple family members and friends that have gone away because of that vaccine, right? All right, so here we go. Embalmers' comments to 2025 Worldwide Embalmer Blood Clot Survey. So we know that there are these blood clots that are showing up. Basically, these white fibrous tissue things. We've seen this in a lot of other programs. It's been revealed for a long time. A lot of people think that, we're past that. It's progressively getting worse, right? A lot of people got sick this year and are getting sick this year with significant flu-like symptoms. And this is basically those people that got that clot shot, and that is brewing inside them and getting worse, and they're basically releasing new concentrations of COVID that's even worse, guys, as time goes on. And this is obviously something they knew would happen. That's why they're suppressing this. They know that this kill shot is going to continue killing as we go forward, even if you haven't gotten it. So the shedding problem is real. And I've talked to some very high level doctors and so forth that have said that is the case. All right. So we're talking here about they're talking about their survey. I've been following these surveys for a long time, right? So in the embalmers' comments, now many implicate the COVID vaccines as a cause of these horrific white fibrous clots that they never saw before 2021. Some of these people have been embalmers before 2021 for decades and decades, 40, 50 years. And they have never seen these fibrous clots before. What could be the thing that made them come out? All right. So now this is some of the things that they talk about. It says, I am hopeful that we get further and further away from 2021 when most of humanity took their COVID jabs, that we will start to see the percentage of corpses with the white fibrous clots and microclotting go down. All right, so Richard Hirschman and UK funeral director John O'Looney report to me that they are still seeing the white fibrous clots in 35 to 40% of their corpses at the end of 2025. It's been growing. So in 2024, this is in the U.S. Survey, actually showed a slight increase in the percentage of corpses with the white fibers to 27% from 20% in 2023. Now, this is the U.S. I wonder what it is, what they're going to find out for last year, 2025. So it was up by almost 30% from the year before. So are we going to continue that process? Yes, I believe we are, unfortunately, until we see a very significant, massive die-off. All right. So a lot of people have been predicting this, not just me, but a lot of people with a lot of amazing background. I'm going to probably have some more of them on my show in the future. I'm trying to line them up. So 1-point embalming used to be common. A 1-point embalming used to be common until the shot. We haven't noticed an increase in infant deaths where I work in embalming, but I know the crematorium in our area has seen an increase. All right, so they're saying thank you for doing this. So they have no other they have no way to get this information out unless they have these surveys, and then I see these surveys and I release this information. All right. So my thoughts: many embalmers have been frustrated over the last 4.5 years at the increased time and difficulty that it takes to do an embalming when the embalmer comes across a body that is riddled with the white fibrous clots. I think it takes embalming usually takes 1.5 hours. It takes 2.5 hours. So it adds another hour to their embalming time because they have to go in and clear these clots, as you see here. They have to get them out. So it says white fibrous clots they remove from a corpse, saying seems that when the body does not hit the cooler, the clots are worse. So I guess when someone dies, they don't put them in a cooler. They just just ship them off to the funeral home. So the clots are worse. The ones that concern me the most are the ones that like the next to my finger. They are bigger than the artery. So they're expanding the artery and completely shutting off the blood flow. So here's Michigan. I embalm 300 plus per year. I have seen more deceased coming into the funeral homes fully dressed, died suddenly, right? CPR that has been performed more than the previous 25 years of my career. People dropping over like never before. All right, so these are, they do the. I've seen these. I've watched them. The person that goes around and does this, he's amazing. He gets a lot of pushback, but he continues. And then the bombers, once they feel safe revealing, then they start to reveal. So this is probably very widespread. Now you guys know I've talked about how I put out one time, any embalmer out there that wants to come on my show and reveal about these white fibrous clots and people dying from them and what level they're dying, please come on my show. So I had a Canadian guy. He was a young guy in his early 40s, owned like 3 or 4 funeral homes. And I was like, do you want me to like hide your name and, blank out your face? And he's like, oh, no, I'm good. I'm like, okay. So we did the show and he revealed, and he's got some embalmers that, work in different areas. And he says, well, this area is not so bad, but this area is like worse. And I've had this one embalmer that's worked for me, and she's done embalming for many years. And she's telling me that just like here, the cases are increasing. Now, I think this was like 2 years ago. I did this. The next day, he called me up and begged me to take that video down because he was getting attacked like crazy. And I said, I'll do that. And so it was only up for, I don't know, maybe 8 hours or so. And then I had to bring it down. So now this is a very serious thing. So white fibrous clots have been found in 20 to 30% of corpses. Remember that number, 20 to 30% of corpses over the last 4.5 years. Now, remember, this was not anything any of these embalmers saw before the clot shot. All right. The next question that you should be thinking is, I wonder how many living people are walking around right now with these deadly white fibrous clots silently forming inside them, and at some point they drop dead. I'm not saying that it's 20 to 30%. Well, it is. That's how many are coming into the funeral homes, and who knows, maybe it's even more. I don't know. They maybe done. Everybody doesn't go to the funeral home, like he's saying. Some of the children are going to the crematorium. they probably have clot shots too, or clot in their systems too, guys. So even if it's only 5% of the population of the United States, that equates to 15 million. Now, if we increase that number by 6, that's 90 million people. So that's 30%. 90 million people. I think we have something over 300 million. So how many people got the clot shot? About 70%. All right. So this is progressing, as I said. So when someone dies, their percentage is gone. But if you continue to have those percentages come in, then that's a constant percentage and people are dying. And so eventually you get to the point there's hardly anyone left. There's only that 30% that didn't get the clot shot, I guess. So this is serious, very serious. And I see that you guys aren't, like, I used to do these shows and people would like sign off, but I see the numbers are increasing. That's a good sign. So I have embalmed, this is Alabama, I have embalmed 4 bodies in the last 24 hours and all had clots but 2. So that's 50% in Alabama in this one funeral home. One was about 12 inches long that I removed from the artery prior to embalming. I bet that was the cause of death, right? Even if they have a heart attack, it's heart attack, they're not getting blood. If they have a brain aneurysm, they're not getting blood to the brain. So there's many things, complications that come with these clots, guys. I have been embalming well over 20 years, and I didn't see white fibrous looking clots prior to 2021. Same thoughts continue throughout all of these. Louisiana, it's not a problem, just politics as usual. So some people just come in and just are complete in denial, right? So that's what we're seeing out. Canada, regarding white fibrous clots, my observation is that they never seem to exist prior to the COVID vaccine. I find these white fibrous clots do not break down like clots before the vaccine, such as grape jelly clots. Some naysayers claim that these white fibrous clots have always existed, and that's, some people just don't want to accept this and want to be part of the lie. You know how this is, like the mask Nazis that we used to have, and the people that said you get the shot or you're going to kill grandma, and all the bullshit that went on, right? So you're going to have people that are going to continue the narrative regardless of any kind of truth that comes out, even if it's I come up and slap them so hard they fall to the floor and they get up and they still deny, right? So that's the way these people are going to be. It doesn't matter. Canada, I think this survey is stupid. All right. As we see, Canada has some problems. All right. So England, I've been finding most of the clots in deceased that have died from cancers and strokes now. Lots of cancers coming through now in younger people, 30 to 50s age range. A lot of infant deaths here in the UK now go directly to crematoriums, as they were talking about in the US as well, bypassing funeral directors altogether. It's only by conversing with the coroners, crematorium, burial staff that you get to see that infant mortality is still way above average. If you listen to this for only one reason, to save the children, that's why you want to get active, right? You want to be like the Canadians, and it's like we don't want to believe this, and we just la 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 la, right? So, and some American crematoriums and funeral homes and so forth, the same problem. They're just gonna continue to lie, and that's what they feel is important. So, England, after finding the greatest amount of clots that I have discovered to date from one deceased, the deceased son was approached and asked if his father had been vaccinated for COVID. He stated that he hadn't and was reluctant to take such things. He was, however, undergoing an experimental mRNA therapeutic for Parkinson's disease. Anecdotal evidence, perhaps, but maybe early indications of things to come. So he died of not the COVID shot because he refused it, but he had another mRNA therapeutic for a disease, and that's probably what gave him the clots, right? So the mRNA is the thing. It appears to be. I can't definitively say that, but there's a lot of information that seems to point in that direction, right? Being a good observer, you know, observation skills are very important when you're, in the military, combat action, and in the CIA and so forth. So I observe these things. I've observed these things for years now, and I can tell you that there's definitely some correlations between that jabberdew and a very strong percentage of, very high percentage of people that seem to be dying off. Now, what can you do to overcome this? Of course, I've been putting this out for years now, and it's, I believe, partly the reason why many of us are still here is because we use LifeWave, right? Now we've talked about that, and of course I can't, say definitively this is not a medical device or anything like that. All it is a little patch. Your infrared heat basically activates the stuff inside the patch, and it reflects back to your body, and it causes some very good things to happen, right? Like letting you live longer, and maybe even overcome a lot of problems. Maybe, but we've had a lot of people that have, had a lot of serious issues that use the patch, and they've gotten some really good results. And I have a Miracle Monday show where you can see that. You can go back and start looking at that. So this Cellergized Morning from LifeWave and the X39 patch, basically the 2025 Biotech Breakthrough Awards made this the stem cell innovation of the year. Now we can say stem cell, before we couldn't, because the FDA doesn't like that and big pharma doesn't like that. But there are, some things that are in the Cellergize that make this something we can talk about now again, because for a long time we couldn't. But it was still there doing its good things. Selected from thousands of entries spanning more than 15 countries, this honor highlights the remarkable synergy and advanced design behind these two groundbreaking products. The Biotech Breakthrough Awards are renowned for recognizing the most impactful advancements in life sciences, the most impactful advancements in life sciences and biotechnology, making this recognition especially meaningful for the entire LifeWave community. Optimum Health and Wellness, which these are, the patches are for that, can now be yours with X39, a new approach to improving the way your body fosters the flow of energy. Now, I've had David Schmidt, the inventor of LifeWave, on several years ago now, and we talked about the X39 during the time frame where there was a lot of problems for people. All right. And we promoted that with the ideal that it would help people overcome those problems, so they don't end up in those morgues or in the funeral homes or crematoriums. So I would highly suggest that you do the research, feel if it's right for you. You use your intuition, and if it is, I would get involved, guys. Right? So you go to my sites; it's in the description box and so forth, always. So I talk about this stuff a long time, and no one's seen medbeds yet, but who knows? Maybe they're out there. All right. Look at Star Trek. Now I'm in secret space program. That stuff is out there, but it's not here yet, is it? Now this LifeWave patch has got a lot of properties that will help you. Right? Do the research, like I said, and it will definitely help you tremendously. We don't want you guys getting that white fibrous stuff in your veins and going bye-bye. All right. I want you to be here because this world is changing. Yes, it's frustrating sometimes, but our consciousness is rising. I'm very happy about that. I'm very excited about that, and it could be very, very positive going forward. Fasting is always good. I fast every day. I'm an intermittent faster. So yeah, there's a lot of different things that you can do to improve your light. You are a light being, and your light reflects out. And if your light is low, right, because there's white fibrous material inside you, then the LifeWave patch being put on your body will reflect your light back and increase it, right? So great things are coming for the world. Donald Trump has obviously tapped into God's source. I see often some of the things I put out the next day, Trump administration's putting out. So we're all tapped in. Hopefully you guys are tapped in, and we're gonna do something better going forward than what the deep state wanted for us. They wanted to obviously take us out. It's still happening. They're keeping that low key. So it's like, oh, those embalmers, we got to shut them up. They're revealing too much. And if any of those doctors reveal anything, they're going to lose their license, right? So we know that there's a lot of problems out there. A lot of people want to do the right thing, want to do good. You want to do good, and this is a time for that. It's amazing, renaissance in consciousness. Although even during the last renaissance, there were obviously a lot of consciously compromised people, right, that resisted that renaissance, and that renaissance was kind of suppressed there, and then eventually came back out. But you look at Florence, if they had been able to really flourish and spread, wow, this would be a different world. But they came in and suppressed that too, guys. All right, we don't want our renaissance in consciousness suppressed this time, right? We want to expand it. You want to be healthy so that you can live long enough to experience that. And I think in the future, there will be no deaths unless there's an accident, and maybe even those people that have accidents will be brought back as well. So death will be a choice. I'm tired of living. I'm 300 years old. I'm just tired. All right. So you just relax and fast for a long time, and then you go bye-bye. I don't know, but it is amazing time frame we're in. So lots of love to you guys. Stay in the love vibration. That keeps your intuition going so that you can make the right choices going forward, and stay safe. All right. We'll see you guys next time.